Hey Wolverines, it is Thanksgiving week. Thanksgiving break's almost here, so I'd like to welcome you to my version of Friendsgiving. We got some familiar faces like Dr. Preeti Malani, who is the university's Chief Health Officer, Associate Vice President for Student Health and Wellness, Dr. Rob Ernst, and our new friend Julia, who is a student in the architecture program. Welcome to the table.
Thank you.
So we've got a lot to cover today around COVID testing, traveling home for Thanksgiving, but before we get started, it's Thanksgiving, so we like to extend our gratitude to all those who have served in our community and everything that you've done to protect and serve our country. So we thank you all for that.
Yeah, thanks, Kim. I want to join in offering my gratitude to our great veterans, but also to our community who've really stepped up to try to make this fall as normal and as fun of an experience as possible. It really begins and ends with vaccination rates, which have been tremendous. And although there have been cases of COVID, people have found a way to move forward.
Well, you're right, Preeti, and I'll first also add my words of gratitude for the whole community. I'm very, very grateful for colleagues like yourself, for the students, this many staff who have really, come together in a purpose-driven way for the testing centers, or whether it's at the healthcare delivery spots, and our academic affairs partners who have really reinvented the way they've done teaching and have been, patient with students.
While we are giving our gratitude shout-outs, I'd like to add a couple things too. Thank you to our professors and U of M faculty and staff for all their endless support and help, and especially adjusting to our changing environment, and to our students. And second, to my family and all of their endless support during the pandemic and throughout my entire life.
So Julia, I'm glad you brought up family. I know this past weekend was family weekend, so some of us got to see our families then. Some will be traveling home for Thanksgiving to see our families. How do we, with COVID going on, how do we maintain that safety and security for both ourselves and our family members?
So that's a great question. And because of the planned travel, we're really trying to make more resources available around testing. And so if you've tested positive in the last 90 days, you don't need to get tested. If you are unvaccinated, the recommendation is that you not travel. And of course, you should be getting tested weekly regardless. But if you're unvaccinated and planning to travel, please add additional tests in. So get another test before you go and when you come back. For students traveling domestically who are fully vaccinated, there's not a recommendation to necessarily test, but you're welcome to test. And anyone traveling internationally should be getting tested before they leave and after they come back.
So let me break it down. If you tested positive in the last 90 days, you don't need to get tested. If you are traveling internationally, you should get tested. If you're traveling domestically, it's optional for you.
That's right. And if you're not vaccinated, the recommendation is that you not travel.
I'll add, anyone who's experiencing symptoms, whether they're vaccinated or unvaccinated, really ought to isolate themselves and get tested and evaluated before they travel. And after people return from travel, especially if they're unvaccinated, a little period of time of not necessarily quarantine, but avoidance of groups until they get that test back could really help the community.
Yeah, and if you're traveling home during November 18th through 20th, we'll have pop-up testing. You can get tested through CSTP, and we'll put all the information in the description of this video that you'll need.
Is there anything else that students can do to help reduce the risk of getting sick, especially as a result of traveling?
That's a really important question, Julia. We've learned a lot in the pandemic, and the things that we've been doing all along, our layered approach to prevention, apply when you're traveling as well. So wearing a mask is a really effective way to prevent spread, particularly when you're in groups or in airports. Try and keep spacing if that's possible, and keep some hand sanitizer with you, and wash your hands frequently.
You mentioned maintaining distance, which is hard since I haven't seen my grandma since the summer. What can I do to help keep her safe?
Yeah, when you're traveling, probably the two most important considerations are what's happening with COVID in the area where you're going, and who's vaccinated at the family house there. So it's a tough question with older people, particularly vulnerable people. If you wear a mask, that provides some protection. But trying to realize that it's not just COVID that we're dealing with too. The influenza virus is circulating now too. So encourage your family members to get vaccinated if they haven't already for COVID, but also for the flu shot.
Yeah, that's always some great advice from you, Dr. Ernst. So let's end on a little fun note here. Since our Friendsgiving didn't include a lot of food, I'd like to know, what is you guys' favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Well, I'm really fortunate. I have a wonderful mother-in-law who I love very much, and I really love her pies also. So that's the highlight of Thanksgiving for me.
Awesome. What about you, Dr.
I
Malani?
also have a great mother-in-law, and I love her lima bean and dill rice.
Julia?
It's got to be mashed potatoes and gravy.
Mashed potatoes. I go mac and cheese. Julia, you're new here, so we end these videos with a Go Blue, so I'll let you do the honors. Can I get a Go Blue?
Go Blue!